Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Waters stepping in on the GameSpot stage here. E3, Day 3, 2014. Getting excited to host some demos here, and we're kicking it off, continuing the EA Sports lineup with Madden NFL 15. Joining me, Sean Grady, senior producer at EA Tiburon. Sean, welcome to the stage.
Thank you very much.
Glad to have you here. Glad to. I'm sorry to disappoint you, though. I've been meaning to tell you guys this. It's like 26 comes after 25. 15, you guys kind of did a little leap there after last year.
It's confusing some people, but we're back to 15 this year. Yeah.
Back on the yearly indicator, and with Madden NFL 15, you guys were showing off some stuff at the press conferences on Monday.
Yeah.
And we're actually going to jump right into a match here, a rehash of the or a rematch of the Super Bowl between the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers.
NFC Championship.
Going to take a look at some of the stuff that's new this year that you guys have been spending some time on.
Okay.
But just give us sort of a preview, a little top level, like Madden NFL 15. What's sort of the pillars you guys are trying to put forth this year?
Okay. Well, like we said at the conference, it starts with defense first. Seahawks prove that you can win a Super Bowl championship. We've all heard
Legion of Boom.
Legion of Boom, defense wins championship.
Yep.
It's half of the plays in our game, right? Of course, 50% of your plays are going to be on the defensive side of the ball. So we really started with this simple goal of making defense fun. Mm-hmm. So how do you do that? You give the player new mechanics. You wrap it in cool UI that teaches them how to use those mechanics and make it feel like you're being effective on defense as opposed to a liability, as some people would tell us they felt when they played defense.
Yeah. That some of my friends who are really into Madden have said, it's just a little bit better to let the defense do their thing as opposed to, trying to make a play yourself, getting out of position. You're not covering, you're not sort of with the scheme. But this year, you're giving a little more agency to defenders, making it a little more easy for them to have that positive impact.
Absolutely. In fact, we know, looking at data in our game, that about 70% of our players play at the line of scrimmage or as a linebacker inside the box, essentially. It's a safe place to play, as opposed to a cornerback or something like that. So we kind of started there, and we gave you a new pass rush mechanic. So you'll see a window, this white ring that closes around the player ring that tells you when you can try to jump the snap. If it's effective, you get in the backfield quickly, disruptive to the quarterback and the running back. Equally, we'll see our new tackle mechanic as well on the defensive side of the ball.
That's my man Hauschka right there, fellow graduate of Needham High School.
So right away, you're seeing hopefully some really nice looking updates to the look of our players and the graphics in the game. That's a brand new camera, that kickoff camera, kind of a playoff style behind the kicker.
Yep. Do you guys model those cameras, the ones that are on wires above the stadium?
We do. We actually hired an NFL film cinematographer, a guy that's been in the business for 8-9 years, to come in. He knows where all the camera positions are in all the stadiums, and we model off the real-world environment. So you'll see a lot of that in the game this year.
And you also have got some real-world tattoos in the game. Of course, Colin Kaepernick's, some of the more broadcast tattoos for certain. But there's a lot of players in the NFL. A lot of those dudes have ink. How deep were you guys going on that kind of individual player customization?
Well, so we released our first screenshot, which was Colin Kaepernick, and he had the tattoos, and that was the first question that everybody started asking. Is everybody going to have tattoos? And unfortunately, the answer is no right now.
No, man, that's a huge task. Are you kidding me?
But it's Kaepernick. It's some of the most recognizable tattoos in the game. And frankly, he wanted to be represented in an authentic way, so he actually went out and secured the rights to his tattoos.
Really?
And as a result, we're able to put those in the game. So,
do you have to consult then the artists who gave him the tattoos?
You actually do.
That's pretty cool. All right, so we're taking a look now. Obviously, we're on the offensive side of the field.
Offensive side of the ball. One thing you just saw there in pre-play, he was pulling up our new matchup stick, our coach stick as we called it. You can pull the old coach cam and you can cycle around with the left stick, and it tells you where your advantages are on the field. So you can see if a receiver has a speed advantage, a height advantage, or maybe a shed block advantage, you can try to target that position on the field.
That's interesting because it seems like that's a way to surface these deep player attributes you guys have assigned to every player.
Yeah.
A way to surface that right on the field, like at the snap, and sort of the game time decision.
Absolutely. It's something that we know NFL coaches do. They look for a matchup, and they'll exploit that matchup on Sunday. So now we're giving you the tools, and frankly, our best players would go in and study the rosters and get very deep, and they would lab. We're giving the tools to everybody now.
So by that, do you mean I can now watch hours and hours of game tape alone by myself in a room?
Absolutely. That's what we want you to do.
All right. So I guess I'm curious, before we get over to the defensive side of things, well, first off, we just saw the prompts come up there, the PlayStation prompts. This is running on a PlayStation 4.
It's on PlayStation 4, absolutely.
Okay.
One thing you notice, too, on the offensive side of the ball, the camera's tighter than it's ever been. It's actually our zoom camera. We showed it at E3 last year. It was kind of buried in a pause menu. We actually updated all of our gameplay cameras, but we decided to go tight because at the line of scrimmage now, you can actually cycle between 6 cameras. So you can start at zoom, go to standard, into wide, all 22, all the way into broadcast, as you're seeing right now.
Oh, really?
On the screen. So brand new element, kind of, borrowed it from a racing game. It's something you see in racing games a lot.
I was just about to say, can you go to helmet cam? Like seeing over the face mask there?
We talked about that. It could be it's sometime in the future. We like that idea, but it's not there this year.
Oh man, I feel like it'd be so jostly. Probably get motion sick. You guys, being a franchise that comes out every year, you sort of put effort in every year to refresh the game, to make it new, to make it more faithful to the experience and better, more friendly to players. Do you take stuff that you see in the season? Do you have like learnings each year from how the NFL season plays out and how the results of teams, not just player stats per se, but like general trends of play and stuff
Absolutely.
like that?
I mean, if you look at the playbooks and how they've evolved over the years, we had the Wildcat a couple years, which was all the buzz. Remember, everybody was putting a running back in the quarterback position, then handing off to receiver.
Yeah.
That kind of faded away, and then it was the read option. Redskins, Seahawks, our 49ers right here. So all the playbooks were updated to reflect that. So we actually look at all the trends that are happening in the league, and you'll see that reflected in the game. And then our teams, when they're controlled by the CPU, will play in the style that you see them play on Sunday. So it's very, very authentic.
Are you guys setting up a little Crabtree-Sherman showdown here in the end zone? You're going to try to repeat history?
Well. Rex, if you're listening, let's go for Crabtree and Sherman and see if he can get the catch this time.
Let's go for the play. See if it'll come to.
One thing you'll notice here on, especially if we get the touchdown, we've really focused on keeping the emotion on the field. So you're going to see players react in post-play. There it is.
All right.
Didn't go to Crabtree, but
maybe should have made that call last.
They went to the wrong receiver in the NFC Championship.
All right, so you're saying when we score the touchdown, what are we going to do?
Yeah, so he scores the touchdown here, and he had an immediate reaction on the field. His arms went up, doing a little bit of a dance. It's not just touchdowns, though. It's on a big sack. It's on a first down. We used to do cut scenes where we'd kind of load this scene and take all the players off the field. Now it's actually organic. It's unscripted, and it's all happening on the field.
It's an animation that just comes right after you caught the ball, you tumbled, and then it registers. You made that play. The arms go
up and react.
The strut.
The strut. The best one is when you pull off the defensive pass rush mechanic and you get in the backfield and you blow up the quarterback, and then he rolls over and immediately goes and celebrates, and it feels like it's you. That's a rewarding moment.
All right, so now we're on the defensive side. We're going to get a look at these new sort of defensive mechanics you guys are highlighting in the press conference. So talk us through it.
So here he is. First of all, you're on the defensive side of the ball. For the last decade, we've been playing behind the offense, and that's always where you were. So you saw in that first play there, he's hit up on the D-pad. He's actually playing from behind a defender. So it's a new look in our game.
Now, is that an option? Can you still play with the old traditional view?
You can, yeah. So just like you saw in offense where he was cycling through cameras, you can actually cycle through them here, and the lowest camera in is this defensive camera.
Okay.
So he actually is doing player lock here. This is a left stick click. It's a similar camera, but for that play, he's going to be locked in on that player. And so it's just a different variation. If you're playing as a linebacker in CFM as an example, that'll be the camera that you play in. CFM being Connected Franchise, our career mode, you'll play in that camera the whole time.
And that seems like a really important thing for defense. Especially if you're trying to get into that role and being effective in your specific position.
Yeah.
Because if you're tracking the ball, it's so easy to lose yourself.
Yeah.
But then again, you also want to be able to switch to where the action's happening and not just kind of be like, all right, defensive end hanging out in the backfield while the running back is off into the races.
Well, it's personal preference. If you want the safety net of playing that one player and you don't get in the backfield, but you don't have to worry about making the tackle, you could stay there. But yes, you're right. A lot of people want to be able to switch the ball. In fact, we actually started with just the player lock camera, and everybody was hitting the B button or the circle button on the PS4 wanting to switch. So we ended up updating this new camera we called the defensive camera so that you could cycle while still being on the defensive side of the ball.
All right, so tracking your player is one way to sort of, drill down on your effectiveness on defense. But there's a new blocking mechanic, or a sort of trying to shake at the block mechanic, right?
Yeah.
And a new tackle mechanic.
Right, exactly. So when you're at the line of scrimmage, when you do that jump to snap mechanic, you'll see an icon appear above his head, either the square or the X button. And the square is an aggressive move, a bull rush move per se. The X is a finesse move. And if you win that kind of dice roll in the window, you'll see him pull that move and get around the offensive lineman and ideally get in the backfield and be disruptive. It's kind of a fun mini game in a way. Like I said at the start, the real goal was to make defense fun. what I'm seeing in the booth as people are playing this, I heard a lot of people like turn to their buddy and say, defense is actually fun. So that's what I want to hear.
Excellent, excellent. And the tackle as well.
The tackle as well. So you'll see this new, we call it a proximity cone. It's kind of this white cone that is in front of your defender. When the ball carrier comes into that cone, again, the icon will appear above your head telling you that the tackle window is open. In the past, it was kind of trial and error. So if you're a new player to Madden, it's going to give you better timing on when you can make the tackle. If he's in the center of that cone, you can go aggressive. You can go with the old hit stick, which is still there, or you can hit the square button on PS4, which is going to be an aggressive tackle. X is going to be your conservative, and if you want to go ultra conservative square up, you can go with L2 and the X button. But that one, you might get trucked. There's a little bit more risk in that one.
Always fun to make the risky play, and that was a risky pass.
That was a risky pass.
Not turn out well. We're going to get to see another defensive, few more defensive plays before the demo wraps up here. Is there anything you want to point out about that play in particular?
I was just going to say, you saw that great immediate reaction. We've actually updated our zone and man coverage. You're playing one of the best secondaries in the NFL.
Yeah.
So not surprising, you're going to throw some picks once in a while.
Well, we've been focusing a lot on the moment-to-moment play, the on-field action. Yeah. But is there stuff that you guys have sort of brought in this year or tweaked on the larger scale, the modes, the sort of ways to play, the online competition that you want to talk about?
Yeah, there's some other depth that we've done in career mode that's been really popular since we completely overhauled it in Madden 13. We've updated Skills Trainer. Skills Trainer last year had 19 drills, and we found that people that went in there and played it were wildly more successful in online, and they played the game a lot longer. They enjoyed it a lot more. We actually added about 45 drills this year that teach you not only the game of Madden, but the sport of football. We then take those Skills Trainer drills, and we use them as your practice week to week in Connected Franchise. And it's a way of increasing your XP and building your confidence in your players and kind of making practice less of a grind.
Very cool. Well, Sean, Madden NFL 15, you guys normally aim for what, like an August release
26th.
date?
Yep.
August 26th, and this is across all consoles.
All consoles, yeah.
All right, very cool. Thank you so much for coming in, talking the nitty-gritty with us here on stage.
Yep.